Saints, we back. We coming back with this video right here, and we want to one moment. And we want to come back because we always try to do two parts to the videos because we can't cover everything in the short amount of time that we have to work with. So we're going to pick this back up on where we left off, and where our Gentile brothers is concerned, it's twofold. Everybody have a responsibility, and then where our Israelite brothers that are concerned for the understanding of purpose, okay? And so we're going to pick this right here because oftentimes many use John 3:16 and misunderstand the verse of scripture. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. And many times we use that misinterpreting what's being said. So people think that they can just bypass the Father's protocol and then just go straight into whatever it is that they want to do on their own. Now let's listen at what the Messiah said, and then we're going to listen at what the Messiah said where salvation was concerned. Okay, it says Matthew 15 chapter verse 24. But he answered and said unto them, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And so what we need to understand is that the Messiah came to restore the house of Israel because they had been given a particular purpose over there in Exodus 19, 56 verse, that they were to be a kingdom of priests, making the Father known to all the sons and daughters of Adam. And so we're going to reinforce the reason why the Messiah came in the first place. Here is the purpose to which he came, all right? This is Isaiah 49:6. And he said, well, I'm going to read it from verse 5. And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him through Israel, though Israel be not gathered yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Lord, and my God shall be my strength. Verse 6, and he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Now, as we said it before, it was a light thing that the Father would raise the prophets up just for the sake of Israel. He said, no, I am also going to make thee a light unto the Gentiles, that you may carry my salvation unto them. All right? Henceforth, we see in Matthew 15:24, the Messiah coming into the world. He said, I am only coming to the world for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Based on this particular scripture here, that the house of Israel was meant to be a light and bring salvation unto the Gentiles. And we're going to back all of this up by scripture that comes from the mouth of the Messiah, because when the Messiah came on the scene, only thing the Messiah had to use was what was spoken of by the prophets. And so everything that he spoke piggybacked off of the back of what the prophets had spoke. None of it conflicts. So let's go to John. Let's go to John 4th chapter, 21st verse. Jesus said unto her, believe me, the hour is coming when you shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Now, this is what I want to show you. If you can see this, it says the hour is coming that you shall neither worship the Father in Jerusalem or this mountain. And then there is a period behind it. And everybody knows what a period means. When you see a period behind something, it's that is the end of it. He said, you're not going to do it this way. And so, verse 22, this is the reason why he told him that. You worship what you know not, and we worship what we know, for salvation is committed to the Israelites. And that is exactly what it says in Isaiah 49:6. And now we have many Gentile brothers that are out here preaching. I grew up listening to a lot of them. The Chuck Swindoll's and the Charles Stanleys and the David Jeremiah's. And I grew up listening to a lot of those brothers. You understand what I'm saying? But it is a distorted message. Okay? Because you cannot bypass the Father's protocol to which he established for salvation to come into the world. Now, grant you, when Paul brought salvation unto the Gentiles, he told the brothers in Rome, he said, because of Israel's fall, salvation has come unto the Gentiles. All right? He said, now, they failed because of unbelief, but you're standing by faith. All right? Now, Paul was part of the protocol. He said, I am an Israelite as well, born of the tribe of Benjamin. You understand what I'm saying? So he said, he made it known that them that were of his flesh fell from their responsibility. He said, but now salvation is coming to you. You see, the only way the Gentiles could have ever received salvation is if the Israelite brought it to them. Sinful one, Simon Peter. Okay? Now, we know right here, because people come back with the book of Obadiah and other things that even some places in Isaiah, like the 63rd chapter, where judgment is pronounced on Edom. Who is this coming from Basra, coming from Edom with his garments dyed? Okay, but everybody, you kind of understand is that there are different factions of Edom, okay? Some of the people of the earth that are Indo-European, like the so-called Egyptians of today, the white Egyptians of today, the white Africans, okay? Then you have to look at the people that Edom merged himself with. See, everybody, there are different factions of Edom, but the Bible makes it clear. So you brothers and sisters, you got to quit coming up with one scripture to hold on to when it don't line up with the rest of the book, okay? Some facets of Edom will be judged. Some facets of Edom are not going to ever be able to receive salvation. However, there are some that will. And this does not negate your responsibility. If God said that he hates somebody, but at the same time, the Messiah came along and told you not to hate anybody, where do you line up with the scripture? All right? Because the Father have his reasons for doing or being like he is. And so salvation was committed to the Israelites for this purpose. And you label yourself as an Israelite, you must understand your purpose. Because you have not just been chosen just because the sky is blue and the grass is green. All right? So you have some more scriptures in here that we need to understand as well. Let's skip over to Deuteronomy 23:7. Let's listen to what this says. So, I've had several people to come back with Obadiah, okay? But it's clear that you don't have no understanding of Obadiah. Them people in Obadiah that is talking about being destroyed are the ones that stood in Israel's way when they had an opportunity to escape. You see, that is a spirit that is in the earth, Okay, and everybody that is of these particular type of spirits are the ones that the Father is talking about judging. However, everybody will not be of the same spirit, because Isaiah says that some are going to join themselves to the house of Israel and cleave to them. There is another scripture that says, and they shall bring thy sons and thy daughters from afar. Well, if you think that everybody is going to be destroyed, how do you think you're going to get back in your land? Do you think the Father just going to miraculously lift us up on a cloud and put us back in our land? No, he's going to make a group of people. This the same way that people was responsible for transporting us. There is going to be a group of people that choose and cleave to the house of Jacob that get these things done. You don't own no planes. You don't own no seas. You can't navigate on the waters. You don't have no idea how you're going to get back home. He said, they shall bring thy sons and thy daughters from afar. Okay, some of these people are going to be responsible for hiding Israel while the Antichrist is on his crusade trying to kill everybody. Some of these people are going to be responsible for feeding Israel, as the same way that the raven fed Elijah. Okay? So you have to put the scripture in its proper order. Now let's read Deuteronomy 23:7. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. And thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. All right. Now, you cannot use scripture against scripture. Okay? And see, the reality is that the Father never gave us a spirit of hate. That is why in Revelations 2:9, he said, look, I know your works, your tribulation, and your poverty, but you are rich. How were we rich? We were rich because he never put those things in our heart that he had put in the heart of other people that knew him not. Okay? So he said, well, you don't even have the capacity. It ain't nobody on the planet can come out here and say that no Hebrew have mistreated European people. No, European people in our community, they have not been cast down and mistreated. They have been accepted and embraced. How do you think European people and the Gentiles know how to sing and know how to dance and know how to do all of our wonderful creative arts and all of that? That is because we never had the capacity to abhor them. We accepted them for who they were, and we invited them in, and we cared for them because that's what the Father put in our heart. And if you are operating out of a hateful type of spirit, then you are operating against the scripture and using the scripture in a way that does not bring about the glorious majesty of the Most High. He said, and thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian. And there's other scriptures that say, and that, you know what, and the Ethiopian and the Egyptians shall come over in chains. And they shall be ours as servants. Well, there is a facet of them that will do that. But those are the ones that had that spirit that was responsible for putting us in hard bondage and mistreating us as a people. And only the Father can draw lines of distinction between the spirits of men. And we must understand these things. We must understand these things. Otherwise, you know, we're going to do damage to ourselves. So I want you brothers to be encouraged enough to know that when you wonder how your grandchildren are going to get back into the kingdom, should the Father not come during your lifetime, you need to understand it's going to be the stranger that attaches himself to the house of Jacob. And many of our Gentile brothers now have come to the understand that they have been lied to too up under the Jesuit order. And so that is one of those things that we're looking at. That's one of them things that's going to have to be dealt with. But I don't know who you think are going to do these things, because you sure ain't in no position to get them done. And if you think that it's going to be some type of cloud to just come out of heaven and pick everybody up and then transport them where they supposed to be, you are sadly mistaken and deceiving yourself. And so to my younger brothers and sisters out there, don't close your mind. And you know what? Don't think you know everything. You know what I mean? Your posts and your comments are going to be welcome. You know what I mean? But all this fighting and trying to match wits where you don't know what you're talking about, you know, you guys are about to start being brought to utter shame before millions of people because this foolishness got to stop. All right, peace out. Have a good day.